Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Amy Carr. I am the Vice President of Recruiting here at Worldwide HealthStaff Solutions. And today we're happy to welcome you to talk about just a few of our employers. I just want to mention we do have many other employers. These are just a few that have upcoming interviews, and we wanted to chat about them with you. For all of the employers we're going to talk about today, these are the requirements, and really for many of our RN employers, these are the requirements. But all of these employers require that you have already taken and passed the NCLEX, and the employers that we're going to talk about today require that you are currently working in bedside. So those are two requirements for the employers that we're going to talk about today. Again, we welcome everyone. Thanks for taking your time to learn about some of the employers that we have. Please, we'd love to hear where you're from in the chat, where you're watching this from today, what country. And if you have questions, we're going to be happy to take those questions at the end. One thing I'd like to mention is that for all worldwide RN opportunities, they are direct hire. So these opportunities are directly hired by the employer. You'll work directly for the employer. All of our RN opportunities right now are processed with premium processing. So every employer currently for RNs pays for premium processing. These opportunities we're going to talk about today are for EB3 visa, for green card visa, and your immediate family members can be included on your petition at no extra cost. Each one of these includes at least 30 days of temporary housing. We do not require the English exam at the time we process your petition. It is required during the process, but we will file your petition without your visa screen or English exam. And it also includes free airfare to the U.S. and reimbursement of your visa screen and medical exam. Some employers include other things, but every employer that we have will include these items. Awesome. It looks like we've got some folks from lots of different countries. How exciting. It's so fun to have people from all over the world together. Okay, so the first employer we're going to talk about today is Genesis Health, and we're going to start with a video.
Genesis is a great place to work.
I love the employees. I love the culture. I love working as a team.
Seeing my coworkers brightens my day because they're always positive.
Not only do I feel valued every day by my coworkers, my managers, administrative personnel, physicians, but it's a safe place to work. They're keeping up on the best practices, always staying one step ahead.
Being a novice nurse is sometimes scary, but having the older nurses there, they can help guide you through and answer anything you need done, and you learn something every day.
I knew I wanted to do babies, labor and delivery, and Genesis is one of the leading hospitals in the area that delivers babies. So that's the number one reason why I chose Genesis.
What I like most about my job is the patient interaction. I like to spend a lot of the time in the patients' rooms and trying to learn about them and learn their story.
I like learning new things every day. I feel like I could advance in the position that I'm in. There's always room for growth in the company. And no matter what background you come from, the sky's the limit here.
I feel as if I'm valued through Genesis because they provide a lot of opportunities. If you want to advance here at Genesis, you have your manager you can talk to, you have experienced nurses you can talk to. They'll point you in the right direction.
Teamwork is one of the main reasons why I stay in the birth center. The teamwork there is incredible. Never feel alone. I don't come in every day just punching a clock, doing my job and leave. They're like family to me.
The employee culture here is definitely a lot of teamwork. What I learned is that no man is an island, basically. So throughout the day, we like to help each other.
I'm on the pediatric unit, and the teamwork's the best I've ever seen. All of us will do anything for one another.
I like everything about my job. Every day is a different day. Every patient is so different. I just like learning new things, and it's never a dull day.
I would recommend people to apply to Genesis because it's a great place to work.
I would tell someone applying at Genesis, come on board, and I would tell them that there are people here to help you and that you will not be alone.
Just be positive and go in with the best attitude, and it will go out for the best.
I would tell someone applying at Genesis that they're making a great choice for their future and that they have a lot of opportunities ahead of them, and they should definitely not wait.
At Genesis, we're in this together.
At Genesis,
We're in this together.
At Genesis, we're in this together.
All right. So Genesis Health is, it's honestly, it's one of my favorite partners that we have. We do most of the hiring today for Genesis Health in Davenport, Iowa, which if you have never thought about living in Davenport, Iowa, you should Google it. It is beautiful. The weather is gorgeous. And Genesis Health Care provides a whole bunch of different services, including home health and hospice. They've also been recently acquired by a really big hospital system called Trinity Healthcare. They have been named one of the 50 best hospitals for cardiac surgery by Health Grades in 2021. They have core values of reverence and you know, really, they are very respectful and they do value dignity for all people. They have a commitment to those who are poor. They value safety, justice, stewardship, and integrity. Genesis Health has hired almost 100 international RNs with worldwide HealthStaff solutions. They also have a $10,000 sign-on bonus right now for nurses that are that are hired by Genesis Health. The current openings are in several different departments for med-surg and for emergency department and for OR. We have Genesis interviews every couple of weeks, so there are some open spots right now. So if you are interested in interviewing for Genesis Health, it is a great time to reach out to your recruiter. I think there was a question that came through about current bedside experience. Like all of these offers and almost every single employer that we have today requires that candidates do already have the NCLEX, that have successfully passed the NCLEX, and that they are currently working in bedside. Those are two minimum requirements for almost all of our employers today. So also for Genesis, that's a requirement. Genesis Healthcare also they do fun events at least once a quarter for all of their international nurses. I know they've been bowling recently, and they're really lovely. The CNO of the Davenport Hospital location, his name is Joel. And if you interview and get an offer, he will send you, there's a welcome video that's included. And just the lovely folks. I mean, it would be an amazing place to start your life in the US at Genesis Healthcare. So the next employer that we're going to talk about today is Cassia, and we'll also introduce this with a video.
Let your light shine before others.
I am compassion.
I am integrity.
I am unity.
I am collaboration.
I am innovation.
I am stewardship.
I am respect.
I am excellence.
I am Cassia.
Yo soy Cassia.
I am Cassia.
We are Cassia.
We are Cassia. We come from different faith traditions and cultures. We are known for the spirit of compassion we all share. We see our work as a mission to foster fullness of life for older adults in the spirit of Christ's love. By acting as caregiver, companion, chaplain, housekeeper, and more, we free those we serve as they concentrate on being daughter, son, grandchild, or spouse. We are an extension of their families. We treat them as an extension of ours. The people who come to our communities feel something special. It's because of the values we've each made a part of our lives. We share compassion. We serve and love like Christ by seeking to understand, walking alongside, and uplifting one another. We share integrity. We nurture trusting relationships and make honesty the foundation for all interactions. We share excellence. We distinguish ourselves by anticipating needs and exceeding expectations. We share innovation. We create an environment where we are empowered to foster and celebrate new ideas. We share stewardship. We faithfully care for and utilize our resources. We share unity. We live the mission, vision, and values of Cassia. We share respect. We treat each person with dignity, consideration, and care. We share collaboration. We value partnerships to cultivate and ensure a richer quality of life. This is how each of us becomes the compassionate leader our industry needs and our residents deserve. Caregivers that lead by serving. Each of us at Cassia is a part of a larger purpose. Our work is inspired by the spirit of compassion, welcoming all faiths and traditions, and operating communities and services that are inclusive for everyone who comes to us for care. In biblical times, our name meant servant's heart. As a part of Cassia, each of us serves our residents with the healing spirit we all share. I am Cassia. Every day, every way.
So Cassia is really a long-time partner of Worldwide HealthStaff Solutions, and I think as many folks in nursing know, working in long-term care setting and taking care of the aging population is a real calling. And I think in the U.S., and probably several other first world countries, this is an area where they're desperate for people who are passionate about this work. You heard in the video, they talked a lot about it being a calling and a mission. And I think Cassia really is a company that values that very much. They strive to really have an amazing experience for senior residents, and they want to provide great care. And I think most importantly, dignity and independence. And so if you are somebody who is working as an RN, even perhaps if you're working in outpatient care, Cassia may consider interviewing you. I think the most important thing is a commitment and the ability to really care and be kind to the seniors that Cassia serves. I think part of their vision is to be a leader in this space and to really be known for the care that they give and innovation in this space. For anyone who pays attention to blogs or other places and other news in the U.S., you can see some places where I think nurses work or maybe other seniors stay that they don't have really high standards of care. And I think Cassia is a company that really wants to do a great job and blaze a trail in how they take care of this population. So a mission-driven job. Right now, we are hiring for Cassia in Minnesota. Minnesota is really considered in the Midwest. It does get cold. It snows in Minnesota. It's known as the land of 10,000 lakes. There's lots of outdoor activities to do. And I think people who live in Minnesota really love Minnesota. It's one of those places where People who live there will go to college or university and then move back home. They'll live near their parents. They have, I think people call it Minnesota nice. Like everyone is just kind and, super, super welcoming. And I've never heard anybody in the state of Minnesota raise their voice. I'm sure someone does, but it's just it's a very kind, calm, safe. The cost of living is really good in Minnesota, place to live. If you're interested in interviewing for Cassia, please reach out to your recruiter directly and they will be happy to help you and make sure that you qualify. But please reach out and they'll be happy to help make sure that they find an interview spot for you. Okay, next up is AHN Allegheny Health Network. And we'll open with a video.
I just graduated and I recently passed my boards. Now I am a NICU nurse. It was a whole different type of nursing just because of the intimacy of care between the families, the nurses, the doctors, and of course the patient.
I spent almost 10 years in the Army, got a bachelor's degree, became a retail manager. I wanted a career that was more fulfilling and one that opened up more opportunities.
While I was doing my externship, I got to ride along with Light Flight. Seeing those nurses in action were really impressive. It led me into what I wanted to do today.
I was helping a very old woman who was clearly very lonely. Ended up sitting there for hours just talking to her. People in hospitals have surprisingly few visitors. People get really, really lonely and they're at their worst. And I felt like I made her feel better about herself. And I felt good.
Yeah, so as a nurse, I definitely want to grow as a compassionate person. And I want to share that with the families that I take care of.
Patients are either here on the best day of their life or the worst day of their life. If you don't connect with your patient and try to support their emotions as well, then they're not going to be able to heal as quickly.
Well, I think regardless of what paths I choose within nursing, to me it's important to stay within a setting where I can continue to help out my community and individuals within my community. So I love working with AHN.
So Allegheny Health Network these hospitals have been honored with a Consumer Choice Award, which is it's based on surveys of patients that have been in the hospital. So the patients that stay at these hospitals have really good feedback. They're also a hospital system that really works on, they really consider the technology and how they can use technology to move things forward. And so they're also one of the healthcare's most wired organizations. Their website has a list of places and different departments where they have technological advances. They also have been ranked among best hospitals in the U.S. by U.S. News and World Reports. And they're specifically listed as an OBGYN hospital for 23-24, I think is one of the best hospitals in that particular area. They also have research and they participate in a lot of clinical trials. And their mission is to create a remarkable health experience, freeing people to be their best, which is amazing. AHN also has several hospitals within their network that belong to unions where the RNs are unionized. So if you are someone who is interested in working for a unionized hospital, and if you're familiar with what that means, AHN has locations that are unionized. We are currently hiring. It's in Pennsylvania and several different towns in Pennsylvania. We're hiring for a lot of different specialties. They're hiring one or two folks in a lot of different places. So med surg, cardio, tele, ortho, neuro, ICU, telemetry, oncology, OR. There's also some step down and intermediate care positions that are open. And Pennsylvania is a place where it's sort of it's not quite in the northeast part of the US, but it's right on the edge. There's like a ton of sports. There's lots of American football, both in college and NFL, hockey. There's a lot of very committed sports fans to their teams in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is also known for like laid back, sort of blue collar workers. The cost of living in most cities in Pennsylvania is very good. It's known as a very friendly place. And so there's a lot of really good things about living in Pennsylvania. The locations that AHN are the places they're located, it's not in Philadelphia. So it's in some of the more rural parts of Pennsylvania. But generally, like, the school systems are really good. It's really safe. And small towns, I think, just like most parts of the world, small towns are generally safer than some of the other like large cities. So if you're interested, please apply online and get connected to a recruiter, and they would be so happy to chat with you and see if that you qualify for any of these openings at AHN. All right. So we're gonna start answering some questions. So if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. If you have very specific questions about your specific requirements or your specific situation, the best thing to do is to connect directly with the recruiter. You can do that through live chat. You can also reply, if you haven't already, apply online to healthstaff.org and just click the apply now page and get connected directly to a recruiter. Or if you already have a recruiter, please feel free to connect them. Also, as you are applying, don't forget about your friends. Bring your friends with you to the US, and you can also earn up to $250. All of the details are on the Refer a Friend page. And to follow us, please like us on Facebook and follow us so that you can be kept up to date with all of the webinars and other things that are going on here at Worldwide Health Staff Solutions. Okay, so I've seen a couple of questions about folks that have a lot of experience, and I would say please make sure to connect directly with your recruiter about your experience, and they will be able to help you not only with these opportunities, but with other opportunities that might be available that are a good fit for your experience. I saw somebody mention home care. No, none of these today have home care openings, but we do partner with a really large home care provider. So if you're interested in home care, please contact your recruiter, and they would be very, very happy to help you schedule an interview for our home care provider. And if none of these were the right fit for you today, I would say please make sure to connect with your recruiter. They're happy to connect with you over email, Skype, or phone call. And they would be able to chat with you about all of the opportunities that we have available. One thing that I would encourage everyone is, if you are thinking about moving to the US, please look at all the geographies that are available. There are some states that I think people are very familiar with, like New York, California, Texas, Florida. But there are 50 fantastic states that people love living in. And so there's a lot of really great choices. And sometimes the states that you might be most familiar with might not actually be the best fit for you and your family, and certainly do not have the best cost of living. So I would encourage you to think outside of what you may have heard or seen on TV. There are a couple of questions about jobs in New York. We do not currently have any acute care positions open in the state of New York. We do have some positions open in New Jersey and then Pennsylvania, which is, they're states that are not far away from New York, but we don't have anything open right now in New York. I've seen a couple of questions come through about Indian nationals. And unfortunately, due to the extreme retrogression, which is more than 10 years right now for Indian nationals, we are not able to help Indian nationals unless they have a previous priority date. So I'm sorry about that. I wish I had better news, but unless you have a previous priority date, we don't have the availability to help you at this time. And then I think I saw a question come through about NICU positions. We have very few NICU positions that are available in general. I think in the U.S., like nurses that are graduating from nursing school or are in the U.S. are really excited to work in all of the fields that have to do with children and labor and delivery. So oftentimes peds, PICU, NICU, labor and delivery, GYN, a lot of those jobs are filled domestically. And so oftentimes the positions that are open are for adult care. Lots of med-surg positions, lots of intermediate care positions, and ICU positions. And then sometimes there's other specialties that that are open. I've seen a couple of questions about OR and CVOR, and we do have some OR positions that come available. I think we continue to ask our employers if they need to place OR. But I think sometimes if you're in a specialty where there might not be quite as much demand for an international candidate, it's a really good idea to be flexible with geography. We do have ED positions, and in fact, AHN has ED positions that are open as well. So I think if you have specific questions about your experience and where we might have openings that fit you, please contact your recruiter directly. We have openings in many states, and we help place folks all over the country. What we have available and what interviews we have available really depends on the current request from each employer and how many applicants have recently applied. And so I would encourage you to reach out directly to your recruiter for additional information. I saw somebody was asking exactly where are the locations of the hospital. It would be a great idea to Google AHN and look at their website, and you can see that they have a whole network of hospitals, and you would be able to see directly where each hospital is located. We do have many applicants from all over the world, including folks that are working around the world in the UK and other places. We've never had, I think, more applicants living in different places around the world. So it's a very exciting time. There's a lot of different places that we have applicants coming from. And we have a lot of different openings. So please reach out to your recruiter directly for specific specialties and locations that you individually are looking for. I don't think I see any other questions that aren't very specific. Again, if you would like to chat with somebody live, please feel free to reach out directly to a recruiter. There's somebody available right now. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and refer your friends for $250. And if you have not already applied and you're interested, please make sure that you apply online. We appreciate you all joining today. Thank you so very much. I hope that everybody has a fantastic rest of your day or evening, and we'll talk to you all again soon.